All right, fellas, let's get into some news, man. It was a lot of non-COVID pandemic related stuff that went down. So I'm gonna just go ahead and start rattling off some stories. The first one is kind of inspired from Black Zeus himself. So earlier this week, he was asking me about Richard Dawkins, and we had a back and forth exchange about faith and religion and stuff. And coincidentally enough, I wanted to touch on this news topic because I found this interesting over the past couple of months. There's an observation I get to that I noticed this trend, but here it is. From CNBC, millennials leave shift away from organized religion as pandemic tests Americans' faith. It's not uncommon for people to seek God during times of hardship. However, the opposite appears to have happened in the U.S. during the coronavirus pandemic. A Pew Research Center survey released there earlier this month found 29% of U.S. adults said that they had no religious affiliation, an increase of 6 percentage points from 2016, with millennials leading that shift. A growing number of Americans said that they are also praying less often. About 32% of those polled by the Pew Research from May 29th to August 25th said that they seldom or never pray. That's up 18% of those polled by the group in 2007. The secularized shift evident in American society so far in the 21st century shows no signs of slowing, said Gregory Smith, Associate Director of the Research at the Pew Research Center. That trend is pushing an increasing number of faith leaders to try to engage with millennials on their own turf. One of the quotes cited here from Reverend James Martin: I use Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok, stories, all sorts of things to go to where people are. That's where a lot of young people are. As church reopen across the United States, attendance has been slow to pick up. The median in-person attendance has dropped by 12% over that past 18 months, according to a study published in November that has led by the Harvard Institute for Religion Research. So, fellas, what do we think? What's happening? It's very interesting that people are seemingly to become less religious during these times. What did the pandemic highlighted a glaring issue with faith, I think, but I want to hear you guys' thoughts.
Well, if I had to put my finger on it, is the fact of the most religious people a lot of times seem to be the least educated, and the ones that are the most desperate at times, if you will. That go through the hardship. They tend to be in the more poverty and more less education, this, that, and the other. And it's this hope that despite all the adversity, you will overcome. You will be rewarded at the end of your life, or you'll be fortunate, or whatever the case is. And I think this younger generation that has seen, or constantly being inundated with the history of what's happened in the past with civilization and society, and the hardships, the oppression, the segregation, the abuses, this, that, and the other. Mm-hmm. And you're like, well, these people have been following this for like forever, and it ain't working. Now here it is. You're let's say you are going to church, and you see during that first wave of COVID, Sister Jones ain't here no more. Brother Johnson ain't here no more. This person ain't here no more. That person ain't here no more. I thought we were the protected. I thought we were the chosen. We've already gone through this much, trial and tribulation, and now it's like we're not even protected from this. And Reverend Rev still asking us, despite the fact of us not working right now, still asks us to contribute to the church. I mean, I think it's a culmination of a multitude of these things that people are just kind of seeing some hypocrisies within organized religion and saying, you know what, I'm good.
Smith.
My bad. I'm based in the meat.
my man trying to multitask, brother. Go ahead. What are your thoughts on what's happening with people becoming less religious and the millennials leading this new wave?
Well, I don't know if they're necessarily becoming less religious because they're not attending church. I think that you can always be religious and not be in the building. I think that some people found that out and realized that shit, I can have church in my house because for the last 2 years I've had to have church in my house. And trying to go online and have church online, because I saw people trying to do the online church thing.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's not necessarily the same. It don't hit the same. It's kind of like learning online. It doesn't. Something's missing. You know what I mean? Because part of the church experience is to be with the community. You know what I mean?
Correct.
The interaction.
Yeah. Interaction. If you're missing that part of it, then being a piece of, I guess, yourself in a sense, or a piece of what the church is. So I don't think it. I think because you talk about this was more so Catholic things, right? I think that a lot of issues started happening and people started paying attention with these Catholic churches too, with a lot of the conspiracies that have been coming out, and then they've been paying off people with this money because a lot of the church people have been touching for years and years. So it's like, I still want to be religious. I just don't want to be in your religious system. That's all.
Yeah.
I don't want to pay you for you to touch on boys.
Yeah, I'm not trying to tithe for your.
Well, that's nothing new. That's the drop off with the Catholic Church has been happening for probably the last 2 decades.
I was just about to say that.
I was born and raised Catholic, and the drop off has been definitely substantial.
Yeah,
like them hard wooden pews are not getting filled up like they used to.
Yeah. One of the things for me, so like where I'm at, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 churches within a 2-block radius of me. And granted, they're probably all different organized religions, but I just feel like ultimately there's just a mass inundation of churches that seemingly exist and they don't necessarily show much for their existence.
Like that. Think yourself, man.
Well, thank you, brother. They might do an event maybe here and there, but it just seemed like, they just take up space without necessarily filling the void in people's lives. And one of the things that I wanted to tie in this story from the Wall Street Journal regarding why Catholic Church is losing its footing in Latin America. One thing, I'm just going to highlight just one thing that was in here. They say, let me see, where is that? It says critics inside and outside the Catholic Church also point to its failures to satisfy the religious and social demands of many people, especially among the poor. And I see that all the time. And, I had my own anecdotal experience of when my mom was going through some financial hardships, and the church that she was so devoted to, when it came time to assisting her, they were almost like nowhere to be found. Matter of fact, because she was unable to tithe the way she used to tithe, she found herself kind of excommunicated. And I think with a lot of younger people like myself, who is in this millennial demographic, we see this shit. We recall that shit. Now, my mom, she still remained religiously devoted to her organized religion. Maybe not that same church per se, but I harbor that sort of animosity a little bit. In addition to obviously educating myself regarding the hypocrisy within a lot of these religious faiths, but in regards to like harboring that sort of like, hold up, so you're not willing to help me in time of need, but I'm supposed to break my wallet to help you out? Like, miss me with the bullshit. So I think it's a lot of millennials who are seeing that these buildings just take up space and they don't necessarily do much for their communities. Yeah.
That's a good point.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of churches.
Agreed.
Was that Black Zeus?
I said most definitely agreed.
Yeah.
Most definitely agreed. and I'll tell you, I have firsthand experience from I don't want to give too much information out there, but I know people who work within the organization, and you should hear these backdoor office conversations that are all about like getting the numbers up. All right, like you would think you're hearing a corporate
executive
meeting.
boy. Yes.
Like I'm telling you, it's like, all right, so how many do we get on this, and how many do we get on that? All right, we got to send out, we got to send out more notifications and send out some holy soap with a prayer on it, and this, that, and the other. Like the hustle is real, my dude. The hustle is real.
And I think, I don't think it's just millennials. I include Gen Xers, because Gen Xers are probably the one who led the way, like you said, leaving the Catholic Church. It's just like when I think of people who remain devoutly religious like that, they're all boomers, really. Like I come across a lot of, Gen Xers as well, who are just like, nah, man, like y'all out here touching boys, y'all out here, like you said, Black Zeus, running these churches like it's a goddamn corporation and shit. Running 1099s, you having clefo dollars, wanting private jets.
I've even heard of churches now, most recently, because my mom left one of these churches, that said they want you to present your 2-week pay stub to the church so they can calculate how much you should be tithing.
Yeah.
Like, word, homie. Word.
Bruh.
Yeah.
And they want to set up like automatic deductions from your account. Like the whole night, like, yo, it's like, word, homie.
It's funny how you say that, because I have a student who was dissuaded from church because they do exactly kind of what Cash said happened to his mother. They're doing that to this student's mother. And he's like, yo, my mom don't even see it. And I keep telling her, and they like just taking advantage of her. And like, she don't even got it. And they just be like, yo, give us the money, give us the money. They're like, yo, Miss Smith, you don't understand. They just really like, give us the money. Like, and then they'll do like 5 collections a day. And she got to keep giving money. And it's like, yeah, that's not. So you get dissuaded real fast from that, because
seriously.
At the end of the day, you look at mega churches like Joel, when they had that situation and he didn't open up the church. So it's like you said,
out in Houston, right?
Yeah, what is the church doing for us when we really need the church? It's fine to hear saying take our money, It's fine to take our money. And at the end of the day, if you're saying it's the word that I'm looking for, you can get the word anywhere.
Yeah. You're right. You can get it anywhere.
You don't need to go get it anywhere. It's in a book. Pick it up and read.
You can do that. Well, no, because some people might not know how to interpret it. You know what I mean? They might not.
Nobody knows how to interpret it. All right, that's the thing. Nobody knows how to interpret it. If there was like this one interpretation, you wouldn't have Pentecostal, Baptist, Seventh-day Adventist, Catholic, Orthodox, non-Orthodox, New Church of Christ. Man, mess with the bullshit.
African Methodist.
You don't need to you don't need somebody to interpret for you, okay? When you can literally read the rules on slavery, when you can literally read, not suffering to that a homosexual is an abomination and should be put to death.
Or your wife needs to basically be a subjugate.
Yeah, like when you can read, the Lord says, dashing babies across rocks. It was like, no, there's no interpretation behind that. Oh, well, it's metaphorical. You don't really dash actual babies across rocks. You don't know, Black Zeus. You didn't go to theology school. You mean a make-believe school?
Yeah, bruh. I went to,
because that's all I think.
Drew University has a well-renowned theology master's program, and I shit you not, I caught so much shit in regards of why is this even a graduate program to begin with. But that's a subject for another day. I don't want us to get I don't want us to get in trouble.
When I hear people tell me like they have a doctorate in theology, you might as well tell me you have a doctorate. You might as well tell
Dr.
me like
Seuss.
Dr. Seuss. That's what you might as well tell me, that you Dr. Seuss right now. That's what you might as well tell me, homie.
Oh, so real shit, bro. Man, Black Zeus, we're aligned on this one. All right, next one. This one is from the Fox Business. I think this is going to be an interesting one. All right, real estate websites don't include crime data from property listings due to racial bias. Redfin and Realtor.com both made an announcement on December 13th that they will steer away from including data on crime in the neighborhoods of property listings on their website. A blog post by Christian Tubin, the chief growth officer for Redfin, said that a data source that the company considered using for crime data was the National Crime Victimization Survey from the Bureau of Justice Statistics, but said that such survey risks include racial bias. To get around the gaps with reported crimes, the main other data source we considered was the National Crime Victimization Survey from the Bureau of Justice. By virtue of being a survey, this has the advantage of being able to capture both officially reported and unreported crimes. However, also by virtue of being a survey, if there's a racial bias in respondents' answer, this would get reflected directly in the data, the announcement said. Let me just scroll down. On the same day, Realtor.com announced that they are scrapped the crime data from property listings on their website in early December, and said that the change was made to level the real estate playing field for all. There's a couple of quotes from these highly ranked executive officers, as you can read on my screen. So what do you think in regards to real estate sites basically saying like, all right, we're just going to do away with the crime data because there's racial bias in it?
I think it's a load of shit.
Yeah, I was about to go ahead, Black Zeus.
Because number one is that if crime happens in that area, crime happens in that area. Period.
Yeah.
All right, that's just what it is. The same way that if a child molester or someone who's done any type of, child sexual crimes is automatically put on, the radar and they notify everybody in that community. That's not a bias or it's just a fact. You have been charged with, sexually abusing a child, and now you're on the list. All right, that's just what it is. So if crime happens in that area, crime happens in that area. And the whole thing is everyone who buys a home wants to know, is it going to be in a safe neighborhood? Is the school system a decent school system? Is it a clean neighborhood? How are the taxes? These are prime information when you're going to invest hundreds of thousands of dollars and years of your life into a property. You should be well informed about what you're getting yourself into. And to say like, oh well, this is bias is a load of shit.
Go
ahead, Smith. I feel like a tag team.
Oh no, I'm with Black Zeus. He summed it up pretty good because if I'm going to spend, like you said, hundreds of thousands of dollars, I want to know the crime, and it's not a racial thing because you're just basically saying that crime is a black thing now. That's all this is saying, that crime is black. Like I don't agree with that shit, and I could stand on a soapbox for 2 hours with that. But at the end of the day, I would want to know if there's an opioid distribution in my community.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about the other side. I want to
know if there's a high, robbery rate in my community, car theft.
Exactly. If it's car theft, I would also want to know if there was if there were rapists going around, if kids were getting snatched. I would want to know. So
a car got stolen on my block a couple months ago.
I also would like to know if there were a lot of domestic cases reported, and I'm talking about crimes that are tangible to all races. These are crimes these aren't tangible to just one race. Like, oh, these just happen because they're this color or that color or this kind of person. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, yeah, I would want to know. You got to put that back up. You know what I mean? I don't think Realtor.com is going to do great business. People will go to other realtors to find out that information. You know what I mean?
And here's the other thing.
It's kind of
does this report name the race of the criminals, or does just simply says, hey, this place has a high rate of car theft or break-ins or whatever the case is? No one's naming the criminals or the race of the criminals, are they?
I'll keep talking. I'm just going to visit Trulia.
It might be if they're, and that's what I'm saying. Even if they're not naming the races, Black Zeus, then you're saying that if you're saying that this is a racial issue, then you're saying that crime is a black thing.
Yeah,
that's what the article is saying. That crime is a black thing.
Yeah, you might as well say it's just specifically only this one race that commits crime, which
Yeah,
is a crock of shit.
Yeah, like that's some bullshit.
It's a crock of shit.
Yeah, because as I'm trying to scroll and find, obviously with Redfin and Realtor.com scrapping the crime data information, I'm trying to see if Trulia has that information on here. But to me,
and it's just like, I would think it's fucked up for a business to know that you're selling me a home in a high crime area and not informing me of that. But that I consider to be bad business.
But guess what? Sometimes people buy cars like that also. That's what I was about to say. So when they show me the Carfax, yeah. Well, do you want to buy a car that you don't know what's going on with your car?
Exactly.
I'm just saying, like, you know what I mean? Come on now.
Yeah. So like Trulia uses spot.crime.com and crimereports.com. So like you said, it's just like to what you said, Smith. Are you implying that crime is Black based related? And I just want to know who was the advocate group that made this an issue. I would love
liberal,
because in this it doesn't necessarily state their findings per se. It says that there was some racial bias, but like at the end of the day, like what was the bias that you identified? In honesty, like you didn't necessarily say much of anything except for there's racial bias. Like at the day, crime is crime. Like regardless of
here's my thing. They might say that there's racial bias because let's say Verona, which is 99% white, has a low crime rate versus Newark, which is 98% Black, has a higher crime rate. So they're saying that it's biased, and it's like, it's not bias. It's the facts. It's not the people. It's not the people that live there. It's the people that commit crimes there. That's all.
Yeah.
Not the people that live there, but the people that commit crimes there.
Because I'm telling you, the car theft that's happening over here is not coming from people that live in Verona.
See,
even though there is car theft here in Verona.
Yo, same thing here in my town in Montclair. It's just like every time they make an arrest, it's not the people within that community. It's always when they capture the said perp or suspect, they're definitely, in neighboring towns, neighboring towns. It's one of those unfortunate things. I can only imagine the frustration if, like you said, if you're someone trying to raise a family what is in a presumably safe community, and then you come to find out like you have all these crimes riddled in that community, you'll be pissed after hundreds of thousands of dollars invested. It's like,
yeah, because I want to sell my house.
Yeah, now you want to say like that's not an asset that's easily that you can sell. It's not like you can hit the sell trade and be like, "Boop, I'm gone with it." It's like that process takes a long time.
Exactly.
I want to sell my house if my car in the first 3 weeks that I've been there has been broken into twice and stolen once. I want
exactly.
Like I don't want to.
I mean that just seems so fucked up because it's like, let me get this straight. I can get an inspector to come look at the house. I can get a sewer inspector to check out the sewage space. I can get someone to check out the roof. I get all the information from the taxes and the property line. I can get I can get all of this information about the property, but I cannot find out if the community is safe for me and my family. That's bullshit. That's because you're afraid that somebody's going to get offended.
Yeah. And what you say, Black Zeus? Miss me with that bullshit.
Yo, I'm trying to tell you, man. Like, it's crazy.
I think a lot of times, and I don't know about you, Smith, and you see this in your job. I think a lot of times when we try to do things to not appear anti-racist,
end up being racist as hell.
Yes.
Yes.
All the time.
Yes. Woke racism.
Yes.
Woke racism.
When you try to be an anti-racism, you're being a racist. Just by trying
woke,
to be
liberal, leftist racism.
Because I see that shit a lot at my job, and I'm like, yo, I see what you guys are trying to do, but this ain't it. This ain't it, yo. I commend the effort, but this ain't it, man. But
this ain't it, yeah.
If you guys are in the market to look at home, stay away from Redfin and Realtor.com because they're doing some dishonest shit right now.
Real.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next up, this is some celebrity shit. We were talking about celebrities and privacies and shit like that, and whether or not, when their life should be private, what aspect of their life should be public. But I think this shit should be public. So this
when you do that, could you make your font a little bigger, man? Because I'd be like,
my bad, brother. My bad.
All
right, is that good? That's that good? All right.
Yeah.
From CNBC. This is how you know we all getting old. We got to start splitting.
I was thinking it, but I wasn't.
Can you make that bigger, bro?
Oh, man. All right. This is some public celebrity news we should know. All right. Kim Kardashian and Floyd Mayweather sued by investors over alleged crypto scam. Basically, they are being sued over allegations they led investors when promoting a little-known cryptocurrency called Ethereum Max to millions of social media followers. A class action lawsuit filed last Friday in the U.S. District Court of the Central District of California accuses Ethereum Max and its celebrity promoters of working together to artificially inflate the price of the token by making false or misleading statements in social media posts. Kardashian included the hashtag ad in the message, suggesting she was paid to promote it. It's not clear how much Kardashian was paid by Ethereum Max, though estimates have placed her fee per sponsored Instagram post in the $500,000 to $1 million range. God damn. Meanwhile, Mayweather endorsed the token in his boxing match with YouTuber star Logan Paul. Ethereum Max was accepted as payment for tickets to the event, a move the lawsuit claims boosted trading volumes sharply. Let me just scroll down. Let's see. Ethereum Max has lost around 97% of its value since early June, leading some investors to label it as a pump and dump scheme where scammers attempted to boost the price of an asset through false or misleading statements. The accusation features I can't even pronounce this person's name, lawsuit, which accuses Kardashian and Mayweather of shilling Ethereum Max. It's not the first time celebrities have been in hot water for cryptocurrency endorsements, much to the ire of regulators. In 2018, Mayweather was charged by the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission with pumping an initial coin offering a controversial crypto crowdfunding method. Mayweather paid over $600,000 in settlement with the SEC without admitting or denying the regulators' findings. So, fellas, what do we think about this sort of news regarding celebrities being involved in pump and dump schemes and like celebrity worship, I guess?
Anybody that got
celebrities, go ahead, Black Zeus.
Their financial advice from one dumb motherfucker that can't read, and another dumb whore that's famous for fucking and sucking.
Hold on, I think she got a law degree now, bruh.
No, she don't.
I don't give a fuck.
She don't. She didn't pass it.
That's not what was her foundation, bruh. That's not. Don't. No. See, that's that shit. It's like
go to law school.
It's like saying to me that's like you saying, well, I'm gonna work my way up to famous success by being a slut and a hoe, and then once I get to the top, then I'm gonna get sanctified and get baptized and shit, and you're supposed to wash away what your foundation was.
Sound like Jennifer Lopez to me. I'm just saying it does happen.
Get the fuck out of here. I'm not beat for that bullshit. Once again, if you get your financial advice from a dumb fuck that can't read a Dr. Seuss book to his kids, and a chick that has contributed nothing to society. I don't know what this bitch is famous for other than fucking and sucking. She has no talent. She has no abilities. She brings nothing to the table. Why is this chick famous?
I think she. Go ahead.
Because she's Caucasian with a body that looks like it does.
For sucking and fucking.
Did you forget about Anna Nicole Smith? Did you forget about Marilyn Monroe? She's white.
Once again.
And they
useless women.
Looks. Oh yeah, I'm agreeing with you, but I'm just saying that's why.
Useless women who are bad role models for other young women.
Mm-hmm.
And what kind of representation does that tell other young women? To suck and fuck their way to the top. But if they suck and fuck, then they're forced into this rape, patriarchal, Hey,
I want to answer this question, Black Zeus, but I do got a question in the midst of what you're saying. Do you think that Kim Kardashian would allow her daughters to make sex tapes?
Doubt it.
Okay.
I don't know. That family's strange.
We can leave it right there. So you think that she would allow her daughters to make sex tapes?
I don't know how low these people could get. Hollywood is Hollywood.
I understand Hollywood is Hollywood, but she's already there now.
Yeah.
She already sold her soul for the sake of her children, I guess. That's right.
Man, like I said, they're Hollywood for a reason, yo. There's no limits to what the fuck they'll do.
That's true.
Yeah. Okay. We won't leave. So anyway, like
I'll say Khloe Kardashian is bad, but damn, that chick done fucked every damn basketball player, and athlete she can get her hands on.
Because she's a tall chick and she gotta go to basketball play. Anyway, listen, this is what I want to say. Kim Kardashian, she don't get a pass for this at all. But Mayweather, he did this. This is the second time doing this.
Yes.
I mean, like, bruh, like you did. Okay, let me go back. Black Zeus said it in the beginning. If you're getting your money, I mean your financial advice that I cannot read, and this tells you he's all about the money and from a fucking whore, then you got issues. Now, one, you didn't do any research, people out there. I'm talking to the people in the back. You didn't do any research on Ethereum Max.
Nah, man. That's the thing. That's the thing about meme investing.
Money in that. That seems very weird and stupid on my part.
That's the thing about meme investing. It's the fact of like that's what's hot right now. It's like whatever hashtag or whatever Instagram post. Oh, let me put my money into that. I'm not going to do any research. I'm not going to look at the financial statements. I'm not going to see how long this thing has been around or what backs it up or what the No, I'm just going to throw my money. It's a gamble.
But you follow these celebrities though, Black Zeus. So when following these celebrities and being on their Instagram and snaps and whatever they got going on, you don't ask them how are their investments looking. You don't ask them, hey, can you show me what it looks like? I mean, you don't ask any questions.
No, I don't know if you saw. I don't know if you know about the scandal with Ja Rule and Fire Island.
Oh yeah,
that was a great documentary, bro.
Okay,
yeah.
So my whole thing is these fools are not learning from their mistakes, and I'm glad that they're fucking getting burned because the same way we were just talking about how celebrities don't have any privacy and this, that, and the other because people feel entitled to celebrities' lives. Well, if you're going to deify these celebrities and glorify them so much and put them on high such pedestals, then you deserve to burn with them when they fall.
Mm.
You deserve to burn with them when that pedestal falls.
Yeah.
So that's on you. Like that's the way you want to live your life. Bowing down to someone for what? For what? At the end of the day, what celebrity has really given anything to humankind to further progress us? I'm not talking celebrities like Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos. I'm talking celebrities in the entertainment field.
Oh,
music.
I would say this. There is this article from Refinery 29 that says Kim Kardashian helped these incarcerated people in her fight for prison reform. So apparently she's done some prison reform stuff that helped release some inmates. There's several articles on this.
She's gotten people out of prison, yeah.
Yeah, so she's done some good, noble things.
Before you call it noble, I don't
know if it's good and noble. Yeah,
I was gonna say I wouldn't go as far as saying it's noble, bro. I want to know who she got out of prison. I want to know why they were in prison and how she got them out.
She got out of,
and I want to know what they're doing in society now. If you're telling me you got out some dudes that were like, fathers that got behind on their child support because they lost their job and this, that, and the other, and they're trying to do better. This okay. I could sign up. I could back that up as something noble. But if you're telling me you let out dudes that was out there selling that crack, that rock, they was out there doing violent crimes, they was out there being
it was people.
Go ahead, Smith.
People that was falsely convicted, and I give her that. And I don't care if she has to use her superstar status to stardom. Get out people that are falsely imprisoned. If the white works for that, then let it work because there are a lot of people that are falsely imprisoned. However,
then if that's the case,
she's not. You know what I mean? They're
I'm still not taking financial advice from her though.
No. That I wouldn't either. But they're allowing her to get people out because of her status. You know what I mean? Because these
Which is bizarre as hell.
So you're pointing out how fucked up it takes because it takes a celebrity to rectify the.
I'm saying these people were still not guilty.
Yeah.
Though some people that's getting out, they were still not guilty. You know what I mean? So.
It's like we're not going based on the facts and the information. We're going based on Kim said let him go.
Kim said that's my issue. That's my issue right there. That's a big issue.
Like she helped release Elise Marie Johnson, their first time non-violent drug offender who already served 21 years of a life sentence. I need to know more about this case with this woman who served.
She got 21 years.
Caught up. She got
a life sentence.
She was selling. I think she was selling weed. She got caught up. She was a grandmother though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they gave her life because of where she was, and the president that commuted her sentence was Trump.
Yeah.
So the one that commuted that.
Stop. So my whole thing is, so she got life for selling weed.
You might have to think about the time in which maybe this was like late 80s, early 90s. Where
she's black.
That too.
I don't care if she's black. I want to know what the crime.
You gotta know the race. You gotta know the race because white people.
Excuse me, I'm looking for a low mileage SUV.
Goddamn ads, but she
slap on the wrist.
She was a first time non-violent drug offender who's been serving a life sentence since 1996.
So this is her first crime.
Yeah, this is her first crime. Yeah, and she got a life sentence. That's insane, bro. That
is insane.
She's black, and where she was living at, I think she was from Georgia or North. One of them.
And here's my other question about it. Right? It's like, how much drugs? I mean, like we ain't talking about a nickel bag here. Like she had to be. She had to be pushing queen like a motherfucker.
No, she didn't. She was black. You forgot when they started with this crack sentences, they was giving niggas football numbers, 97 years, 71 years, football numbers, bro.
All right, but she was also conspiracy to possess cocaine and attempted possession of cocaine. Now, all right, I understand the blackness, Smith, but to Shuba's point, I gotta know the amount though, because that's excessive.
Well, pull it up, find the amount.
If she was running like a Jack City crack house, you know what I mean?
You ain't gonna find it in that article. You gotta go
where Pookie was, Pookie was in the back, tripping out.
Yeah, like
Nino Brown in that shit.
We'll do the research lady on this chick, but there's something I definitely know where you're coming from because clearly, obviously, in the 80s, 90s, even to now, obviously the disparity of convictions definitely does not fare well for blacks, but I need to know more about that case because
get life on your first time drug.
Yeah. I need to know more about that case. But in regards going back to the story, I think celebrity worship is something crazy, bro. Like I would never, like you said, to just piggyback off of you two guys, I would never ever do my investment strategy based on any celebrity. I give two shits who, unless they're, if you want to consider, like you said, the Warren Buffetts, the Charlie Munger, people who are in the investment world that have done well, that became a celebrity because of their investment, then fine.
No, but they are, here's my thing. They are financial celebrities.
Yeah, they're financial.
So
yeah.
Not entertainment.
Not entertainment.
Like if what's her face? If Floyd Mayweather want to teach me how to stick and move, I'll listen to him.
Yeah.
All right. But if that nigga want to tell me how to write Shakespeare, I don't think not.
The flip side,
if Kim Kardashian wants to, show my wife how to suck a dick while taking it from the back, go ahead, Kim, do what you gotta do. But if she wants to tell my wife, how to manage her money, boo, fall back.
But remember, this is the flip side. You got a flip side of it. So you got the we started off talking about the celebrities and the paparazzis and why so many people care. You see, right? You see why so many people care. They'll just do whatever the celebrity says. You know what I mean?
That's a lot of
That's why I was telling you. You're like, well, why do people care about these? They care. That's their friend. That's their lover. That's their wife and mother.
That's why the fools deserve to burn. When their celebrities go down, they should burn with their celebrities for being the fools that they are.
Like that's an issue.
He's like, we should Spartan these motherfuckers. Just toss them over.
Word out. I'm trying to tell you, bro. I feel no pity for you when you follow these people. I feel none for you.
All right,
why are you glorifying these people?
All right. You know what? There's a couple more stories. I don't know if you guys have time for this, but let me scroll down to this next story, which is interesting. American says, this is from Financial Advisor Mag. Americans say that they need to earn $128,000 to feel financially okay. Feeling financially healthy means pulling down six-figure salary, according to a survey by the Personal Capital and Harris poll. The average amount of adults said that they need to earn to feel good in financial state was $128,000. That's far from the median U.S. household income in 2020 of $67,521, according to the U.S. Census Bureau. The survey of more than 2,000 people found Americans with a dwindling sense of financial confidence in 2021 final quarter. 34% of respondents said that they felt financially healthy compared to 48% in early 2021. So I know inflation has been kicking everyone's ass. What do we think of this staggering amount in salary that people feel the need to earn to feel comfortable?
Well, they obviously are not earning that because they don't know that that's no money.
No, not true. It all depends on where you're at.
It does, but
because if you're in like Texas, that's you're in a certain part of Texas, that's real good money. That's real good money. If you're in New York,
depending on where you are, I could go with that, but I'm still going to go with, if you got the U.S. household income median is at $67,000, and this was a survey of 2,000 people, you got 2,000 people that's not making $128,000.
Yeah, but you're talking about 2,000 people out of
we don't know
current population is 328 million people.
But look, check it out though. We don't know where these people are.
We don't know where they were.
Are these people in Texas? So they're saying,
are they in Georgia?
Because how do you even know? No, check it out. How do you even know 128,000 is what you need to be good? How do you know that?
That's what my whole thing is. My problem is
if I'm making 128,000, I will be good.
But here's the thing.
Let's say you've done a diagnostic and written everything out and said, if I make 128,000, I will be financially good in life.
Well, that's where this whole thing isn't correct, because one is the fact that they're taking a small sample of people. Like I said, out of 328 million people, they're taking 2,000 people's viewpoint, and they're taking those. I'm pretty sure they're probably taking those 2,000 people in the same area. If they're all in that neighborhood of an agreement of 128,000, and then they're saying that this goes across the nation. When you're talking about a national average, when you're saying you're taking all the high salaries that are in New York and in California and in and those areas, and then you're spreading that and saying you're going to average it out between all these high salaries in New York and California and the tri-state area or whatever, as well as the Midwest and this, that, and the other, and you're averaging it out to 67,000, when there may be people living in Ohio that's like, shit, I wish I could make 67,000. I'd be good if I was making 67,000. All right, so the statistics there are kind of sketchy. The statistics are real kind of sketchy. And then the other thing is, how many people actually fully understand what that type of money means? Because if you're not understanding, okay, if I made 128,000 and I said to myself, okay, how much of it's going to go towards my investments? How much is going to go to my living expenses? How many, so I would like to know more information about the people that they picked and how they came up to those numbers.
That's why I say either you got an itemized list, but the other part is one of the things that this author is speaking about in Civilized to Death is we're about to go into the questions, right?
Yep.
And once you earn $1 million, people say $1 million is good. He said, but once you, just give me $1 million and I get a cottage and I'll be all right for life. And he said, no, because once you get $1 million, then your friends change, then your circumstances change, and now you need to make more money. So these people that say they only need $128,000, they don't know because they've never made that. You know what I mean? So they really don't know what they need. Because
yes and no.
Check it out. Remember, as the book said, I'm just talking about the book. He said, once you get that million, like people say, they just give me $1 million and I'll be set for life.
And then you get to there, and then that's not enough.
It's not enough. So how do you know 128,000 is going to be?
Like
that all depends on. Well, once again, that depends on the individual because the whole.
Well, we're talking about Americans, bruh. Come on.
I hear you talking about Americans, but there are plenty of Americans.
We're not talking about us, Black Zeus. We talk about Americans.
We are talking about Americans, and the reality is there are a lot of Americans, that are millionaires, that are net worth millionaires between, whatever their property is, whatever their pension, their retirement money, investments, this, that, and the other. There are millionaires that do not change their lifestyle.
There are more people that's impoverished than there are millionaires. So, remember,
here's the thing.
This survey, and this is what I said, this survey, they're saying they don't need millions. They're saying they need 128,000. So they're not talking to the millionaires that you're talking about of America. This is what I'm talking about. I'm arguing this point of this. This article is saying 128,000 is what I need. So we're not talking about the millionaires.
But once again, who are the people that said 128,000?
7,000 roughly. Who's saying, I need to double that and I'll be good. That's what people are saying. I need to double my salary and I'll be good. Give me 2 salaries. That's what they're saying. 128,000 is off of 67. You're doubling the salary, basically.
I think the reason why, and this is just a rough estimate here. I think they came about that figure when you look at the price of just goods in the past year alone. A lot of that shit doubled, just drastically. So I think it's a fair assessment to say, like, all right, if gas is double the amount last year, and groceries is double the amount last year, and whatever else you could think of has doubled or tripled from last year, well, I need double the salary, and that's how they probably came up with that sort of rough estimate number.
And then you still have to take into the fact of everyone's in different situations. Some people may be married, some people may be single, some people may have kids, some people may have 1 kid, some people may have 3 kids, So, because the whole thing is the disingenuous part about it is the fact that you're saying you've asked 2,000 individual people how they felt, but then you're talking about the households making 67,000. So is that a combined income of 67,000, between 2 people, or is that an individual basis of 67,000? Like, there's a lot of factors that are not being addressed.
Well, I think
that's not a combined 67, but some households it is.
Yeah, well, the U.S. household income means the money pulled into that house. So it could be single, it could be married, so it could be
the variation.
Yeah, it could be all of that. But I think they're just saying ultimately in that household, that 128,000 is what's needed. And again, I think this comes down to how much things have gotten extremely expensive lately. And people are just saying, like, yeah, I am out here struggling. I need double my salary at this point.
Yeah,
so it's arbitrary.
Relative.
It's not a calculated number.
Yeah, if you got 4 kids, it's going to be different. If you got 1, it's going to be
correct.
Different. Like, everything's going to be different. So it's not
like for me right now. My salary, my household income salary can remain the same. But shit, if things constantly get inflated the way it's going, then I might be saying, my salary need to be $500,000 soon for me to feel okay.
I need that Kim Kardashian price.
Yeah, some real shit. All right.